Unyielding Valor, the Foster Joseph Sayers story. What defines true bravery? Is it the absence of fear, or the choice to defy it? Today, we explore the extraordinary life of Foster Joseph Sayers, an unassuming young man who rose from hardship to heroism during World War II. His selfless actions saved his comrades and earned him the Medal of Honor. But this isn't just a story of war. It's a tale of human resilience, relentless spirit, and a legacy that echoes through history. Have you ever wondered if you could step up when everything's at stake? Hardship from the start. Foster Joseph Sayers' life was forged in adversity. Born to a single mother on April 27, 1924, in the small town of Marsh Creek, Pennsylvania, his earliest years were anything but ordinary. At age 6, Foster was taken from his mother and placed into foster care, a system that offered little solace. Imagine this: a young boy shuffled from one farm to another, working hard while other children sat comfortably at breakfast tables. He wore hand-me-down clothes that barely fit, a tangible reminder of his station in life. Yet, through it all, Sayers developed a quiet resilience. A small light of hope finally emerged when a kind woman took him in. Her compassion gave him a glimpse of stability he had never known. Foster began to thrive. He was strong, dependable, and unafraid of challenges, a young man shaped by the storms of his past, but not beaten by them. A new chapter begins. By 1943, Sayers was working at Piper Aircraft Corporation, where he crossed paths with Ellen Gardner. Their connection was instant and deep. In March of that year, Foster was drafted into the U.S. Army. But before leaving for basic training at Camp Polk, Louisiana, he made a commitment. He and Ellen got engaged, sealing their bond with a promise of a future together. As Foster trained with the 357th Infantry Regiment, 90th Infantry Division, the young couple held on to hope. When he returned home briefly on furlough, they married, a testament to their love amidst a world at war. The call to duty. In the spring of 1944, Sayers landed in France, thrust into the harsh realities of war. By November, he found himself near Thionville, France, as part of the Allies' Rhine winter offensive. Conditions were brutal: frigid weather, muddy terrain, and constant enemy attacks. Every day was a fight for survival. On November 12, 1944, Foster's courage was put to the ultimate test. His company was caught in an ambush near a small creek. A German stronghold on a steep hill loomed above, raining devastation on Sayers' exposed comrades. Without cover, the entire company was at risk of annihilation. The moment of courage. In a situation where most would falter, Sayers acted. Armed with a machine gun, he sprinted toward the heavily fortified hill, weaving through relentless enemy fire. The Germans hadn't expected such a bold move. He got close, dangerously close, setting up his weapon just 20 yards from the enemy's position. But this wasn't enough. Sayers knew the only way to save his company was to fully distract the enemy. With no regard for his safety, he charged straight into their stronghold. He fired relentlessly, killing a dozen enemy soldiers in close-range combat. His actions created the distraction his comrades needed to ascend the hill and eliminate the remaining threat. Sayers' bravery didn't come without cost. Enemy fire finally found its mark, fatally wounding him. Even as he lay dying, he continued to pull the enemy's focus, ensuring his comrades' survival. The legacy of sacrifice. The impact of Sayers' sacrifice was immense. His selfless actions saved countless lives. Fellow soldier George Zonge later recalled, "He saved most of our lives." Though Foster was evacuated, he succumbed to his wounds before reaching the hospital. His courage, however, was not forgotten. On November 7, 1945, Ellen Gardner Sayers received the Medal of Honor on behalf of her late husband. She accepted it in a ceremony at Fort Indiantown Gap, Pennsylvania, a bittersweet moment of pride and profound loss. The ripple effect. Sayers' death came with a tragic twist. Unknown to him, Ellen was pregnant when he shipped out. Their son, Foster Joseph Sayers Jr., was born 3 months before his father's death. Tragically, Foster Sr. never learned of his son's birth, as the letters and photographs Ellen sent were returned unopened after his passing. In 1949, Sayers' body was repatriated and laid to rest near his hometown in Howard, Pennsylvania. Years later, a dam and reservoir built in the area were named in his honor. To this day, the Foster Joseph Sayers Dam serves as a lasting tribute to his bravery, a continuing legacy. Sayers' influence didn't stop there. His son, Foster Jr., followed in his father's footsteps, serving in the U.S. Army during the Vietnam War. Thanks to his father's Medal of Honor, Foster Jr. was spared deployment to a combat zone, allowing him to serve without the same harrowing risks his father endured. Additionally, in 1995, Sayers' Medal of Honor and wartime artifacts were donated to the Pennsylvania Military Museum. They serve as tangible reminders of the price of freedom and the heroism it demands. Conclusion. Foster Joseph Sayers was more than a war hero. He was a symbol of selflessness, courage, and unyielding determination. His story teaches us that greatness can emerge from the humblest beginnings, and that true courage lies in standing firm when everything is on the line. So, as we reflect on his life, ask yourself, could you summon the courage to meet your defining moment? Foster Sayers did, and his legacy will inspire generations to come.